baseball than any other sport is the game lends itself to failure. And I want to strike a balance, if you will, of them wanting to be at this facility more than any place they want to be on the planet. And so I think by having that element of what's going on is important. I think that's caught so much attention. I think they sometimes don't get enough respect for how professional they are, how competitive they are, how detailed they are, how much they want to make themselves the best player and team they can be. And you know, the guys we have here are very committed to that. First off, he means a lot to our program. You know, and when I say program, he obviously meant a lot to last year's team. I knew he would mean a lot to this year's team, a lot to me personally. It's his value, obviously, on the mound. He has that mature ability to be totally focused in the moment and the task, and does that as well as anybody. He had a lot of improvement from this year to last year in terms of his body. He's in great shape right now. You know, I didn't want him to give up his dream of being a professional pitcher. Number one. Number two, he obviously will help our team be more successful by having him. And my thing coming off the College World Series is, I mean, you can't perform any better than he did. And there was a lot of emotions going through a lot of people with the end of last season, and I just didn't want him to make a decision based on the emotion. What I tried to say was, it's October 6th, you know, I mean, do you want to be sitting at home at your parents' house, or do you want to be out here, you know, in a workout, hanging out with your guys and providing leadership and providing a legacy? And so I know he's convicted and confident in his decision, and I'm glad he made the one that he did. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do still to figure out the right combination, and that's a good thing. You know, when I took over, the depth thing was not a concern, but something that needed to be addressed. And, you know, last year's team, part of its success was we stayed healthy, you know, relatively healthy throughout the year, and we're not in a place where we could withstand many types of injuries or those types of things, where this year I really like what we have. I really like what we have in terms of lineup combinations, bullpen combinations, those types of things. With that being said, it's going to take some time for it to sort itself out. What we want to do is do a good job of putting our players in position to be successful early and figure out our best team as we go along. I'm very proud of the recruiting effort for the class of 2016. College baseball recruiting these days happens earlier and earlier. Kids are committing in their sophomore and sometimes freshman year of high school. And with that being said, you know, we did a nice job of putting this together, and then most importantly, getting them through the draft. Because it doesn't matter what it looks like on a recruiting class list. It matters who shows up in your program for 3 years. Nick Quintana will start at third base to start us out. Very mature baseball player. You know, has played in some high-level stuff. He was the third baseman for the 18 and under national team in 2015, I believe. Cameron Cannon, a shortstop from Mountain Ridge, is somebody I'm really excited about. Can also play second or third base. You know, has very special ability. You know, explosiveness to his game. Great competitor. You know, both of those guys will go through some learning curves when you transition to the Pac-12 and the schedule that we play. And then Matt Frazier, outfielder from Fresno, who was drafted by the A's, has got a chance to be a special player. I think he can impact the game in a lot of ways. And I think all three of them, you know, they'll have a learning curve, but I think they're well positioned to be really good players here for a long time.
How often do you mention the word Omaha?
Well, maybe just a handful of times throughout the year. And in the first context, it means you can't play here unless you want to be a major league player. You can't play here if you want to, if you don't want to be a major league player. You can't play here if you don't want to play in the College World Series. There's nobody on the planet that wants to be in the College World Series worse than me. I mean, it's at the top of why we do what we do. With that being said, I've never been a believer that talking about it is going to bring you any closer to doing it. We want to focus on the things that it's going to take to improve and be successful that will help move us in that direction. And so it's kind of an organizational thought of focus on what you can control, which is the play. And the play is a result of the preparation, and we want the preparation to be really quality, and that's not just on the field. That's helping guys develop good habits off the field, and recruiting is as competitive as the games that you watch us play. And so there's a lot of things that it takes to even get in the conversation to be there. Our players want to be there, I want to be there, but we're going to want to focus on how we're going to get there.
The Major League parody that was put out by your team. Have you seen the final product of it?
Yeah, I saw it.
What did you think?
It was great. I mean, Sawyer is an unbelievable talent, and is going to do some really special things in his career if that's the path that he likes to go down. I mean, they've all seen the movie. They love the movie. It was filmed on this field, and it was a good time. And I think it's something our fans probably have enjoyed, and apparently it's caught more attention than I think anybody anticipated, and in a good way. So it was positive.
How'd you get the Lou Brown voice down?
Well, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and Daniel came to me with the idea, and Sawyer came to me with the idea, and we just had some fun with it. But my voice was actually a little hoarse right before we did it, so it worked out perfect. There will be no more imitations for the rest of the season.